Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to our second meeting live on YouTube. We are all together here in a Zoom meeting, the participants of the conference Porto 2020 by Esther, European String Teachers Association. It was a great pleasure to be all together last week. So we are this week again, and we will be more and more times, I hope, to speak together, to show our thinkings about this moment before the conference. And we will have the opportunity also to meet some of the speakers that are already making some teasers to appetize you for their presentation in our future conference after the summer. So today we have with us Philip Ard and Esther Den Bowen to us to try to meet them a little bit more, and I will ask them maybe to present themselves a little bit. We will start maybe with the right pronunciation of the name, Philip Erd. Is like this?
Yeah, correct. Perfect
Can
pronunciation.
you say it? Can you say it for us?
Erd, Philip Erd. It's a Scottish name, apparently.
Philip Erd. Okay, about Philip Erd, we need to say he has been a very great help for us because he's giving so much advices to our publicity
marketing.
Yes. So our how to say this department very important, led by Hazel. So Philip, with his great experience like a CEO of Esther UK, he has been our very good friend, and we get a lot of good things from our sponsors. And at this moment, I have to say big thanks to Thomas Tick and to Pirastro that are still with us and are supporting us in all these pre-conference events online. So thank you very much for Thomas Tick and Pirastro. Okay, we continue with Philip. Philip, can you say us a little bit about your job, what you do, how you came to this part play organization?
Sure, thank you. Thank you ever so much, George. I must say, just before I start, I'd like to say a huge thank you and congratulations to Esther Portugal, because you guys have grasped the opportunity out of all this chaos. And I think you've done such a brilliant job to get us all here today. And also the sponsors as well. What amazing pulling together of forces. And we're all in it together, so it's good we work together. So I'd just like to say thank you for that. For me, I'm a violinist. I play in an orchestra, but I'm one of these people that have lots of different jobs. So I'm CEO of Esther UK. I also run a few sort of summer schools and other such projects. I work for Birmingham Royal Ballet. Sadly, we're not working at the moment because of all the restrictions. But I'm also a joint co-founder of Part Play. And I had the idea when I was about 13, 14 years old, actually, because there was something on the market called Music -1. And you used to get a vinyl record of the New York Philharmonic Orchestra, and you'd put it on and you'd play the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto. And the biggest challenge was the cadenza, because there was just silence and you'd hack your way through the cadenza, and the orchestra were terrible. The New York Phil were terrible. They always got it wrong. They always started at the wrong point, either too early or too late. Well, that's what I thought anyway, until my teacher suggested that it may be another problem. But there we go. So I've always had it in my mind how useful Music -1 was. and it's still going today. It's a great resource. But I thought with all this online technology, we could add lots of extra features. And I thought, especially for chamber music, wouldn't it be wonderful if you could play along with a professional quartet? And if you wanted to play the first violin part, you could mute the first violinist in the Magini quartet and play along with the other three.
Yeah, that is great, Philip.
That was the idea.
And if you know, there are a teaser made by Philip in our YouTube channel. You can check it out if you didn't have opportunity to listen it. It's really interesting to see the program going. Maybe now we go to Esther. Esther Den Boer, are you there?
Yeah, I am there. Hello.
Can you help her? Can you help ourselves with the pronunciation of your name?
Yes, that is Esther Den Boer.
Boer.
It's like a farmer. In the Dutch, a boer is a farmer.
Great. And where are you from? In Holland?
From Holland, from Rotterdam.
Ah, Rotterdam. And you are in the city, not in the farm.
In the neighborhood of the city.
Okay.
It's more in a place with a beautiful nature around me. It's not in the city center, but it's nearby.
So this quarantine is not so strong and so great for you.
Yeah. You have seen me in the wood.
Yeah,
I can go out and hear the birds singing with me.
Great, thank you for coming, and thank you for propose for the conference.
Yeah,
and thank you very much for being with us today.
I'm also very glad that your organization is doing so much to us and to everybody to meet each other like this way. So it's great what you are doing.
Yeah. So Esther, are you teaching now?
I'm teaching online by
you
Skype.
are trying this new technology also to teach at a distance.
Yeah.
And at this moment, I should say also that because we have Philip with us, I have to say that Esther UK is promoting a weekly meeting on YouTube or Facebook channel, and they are helping their members with ideas and new ways to use the technology in helping teachers at the distance. So it's a good that if you need something about that, go there in YouTube channel of Esther UK. You will find a lot of interesting things. Great. Esther, what do you think? What do you think that your presentation could help us without saying what you will say in the conference, because we should keep it secret to people will come. But what could you advise us in this quarantine time to maybe harmonize ourselves a little bit?
Yeah, I think about it, and I thought everybody's now giving his lessons online, and some students are sending videos to the teachers. Mm-hmm. And I thought maybe it's a challenge that we are looking at the videos and turn the sound off. And then we have to look at the movements the students during his playings. You can see that.
That's a great idea.
And then we imagine the sound. And then I think we have another focus. You know, we always are from the sound. And the sound gives us that we have to look from what is the student doing in his technique. But I like to reverse it. First look to the movement patterns and then the sound. You understand me?
I understand.
I have one student and he said to me, it's great, the online lessons, but I have one question for you. How can you see that I have too much tension in my arm during playing because you only have the internet? But I said to him, it's a big focus. I only have the camera, nothing more. I see all of you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I used to say sometimes that we need to close our eyes and listen our students.
yeah,
So
that's nice.
now it's more easy. You can just turn off the microphone.
Yeah.
Great, thank you for this advice, Esther. This is, I think, very useful for everybody. Great. And how are things in Holland about the music education? Are you having some help of the government? The parents are cooperating. How is there the ambient?
Yeah, the parents are cooperating, but it's not. We don't know if we can give our lessons in the schools. It's not. Hoe zeg je dat niet duidelijk? It's not. We don't know how it's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
the online lessons, everybody do his best to yeah.
But
Yeah.
are you a private teacher or you work in a school?
Yeah, I'm a private teacher and I work also in the school, but it's also lesson one-to-one, just individually, not in a group.
Yeah, and your private students, they still follow the lessons, they are open to pay them. And
yeah.
So that's great.
It was great. I was so thankful for them. I have one student who said, I don't like have the online lessons because she's a little bit older. But she said to me, I always pay you because it is what it is. And I was so thankful for that.
Mm.
Yeah, it's very great.
Yeah, we don't, in Portugal, we don't have so much this private teaching way, because we have a very big system of music education that is supported by the government. So teachers, they have a salary. And now, all directors are obligating teachers to give the lessons online. They make all of them to make it in teams, and some directs are controlling the lessons.
Yeah, that's a great difference.
So it's a great, big difference. Now it's a lot of lessons are being doing on Teams or this kind of platform. So a lot of information. I know Clarissa, she's a researcher, and she's thinking a lot about that, like to learn with this situation. Maybe she can speak about that a little bit later. Okay, we go to Phil again. Phil, what you have to say about this music education society in UK? This is more private, yeah.
Yes, it's a really mixed setup in the UK. Each area within the country has, in the state system, is part of a sort of music hub. So it's a music center servicing several schools, and those teachers may be on salary, or they may be self-employed. And then there's quite a big private network of teaching, and quite often teachers do both. They'll work for a school or a music service, and they'll teach privately. So it's quite a mixture. All the schools are shut, as I guess it's the same everywhere in Europe at the moment. And I don't think we'll probably go back until, I can't imagine, it'll be the end of June or something like that. And then it'll probably be staggered. My only concern is that if it's staggered, schools will probably approach favor the academic side of things first. I'm not sure how keen they would be for orchestras and ensembles and teaching in confined spaces to go ahead. So I would imagine that the online option would still run through for the foreseeable future.
I have a feeling that we will have a lot of live directs on YouTube with the concerts from the theaters without an audience. Maybe, I don't know.
Yes, it's difficult to say. On the news last week, English National Opera, who are based in London, are talking of putting on an opera, and you drive up. It's like the old 1950s American movies. It's a drive-in movie, so you drive up to see the opera. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but it's their idea of keeping the isolation going.
Yeah. And are there any support for the teachers, the private teachers? Are there any support from government of all this? Well,
Yeah.
now you are not anymore in the European Union.
Yes, well, I'm really sorry about that.
You don't have the corona. How is the name? The corona pound. So
yeah. well, at the moment, if you're employed for the next, I think it's 3 months, the government have sort of guaranteed your salary, or 80% of your salary, if your employer chooses to take that option. If you're self-employed, the government is assessing your account returns in June, and will make a payment, and you will get, I think we're being paid, those who are self-employed will be paid 80% of their self-employed salary, or self-employed income rather, for a period of 2, if not 3 months. So there is some help there, but it's not going to arrive until June.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah. Esther, in Holland, is there any news about concerts and going back to theaters? And
Unfortunately, not.
What are musicians doing now? They play from home, like everywhere. In Portugal, they play a lot from home.
They play from home, and sometimes they go to a church or something like that, and they give live stream concerts. You know, that they.
Yeah, this is what I was saying, that maybe it will be one solution for the future.
By 2 or 3 people, not more.
Because in Portugal we had this idea from the government. They will open the theaters in June, but we need to keep the security things. So you need to be 3 meters one to each other. So it will be very complicated to have a spectacle or a show. We will see how it will happen.
George.
Yeah.
Hazel would like to ask something. I think she's.
Okay, Hazel.
Oh, that was no hurry. It was about teaching online. I thought I'd say, because I'm teaching in state schools, I thought I'd say what we're having to do here. Before Easter, we were left to our own devices. We were expected to get in touch with our students and set up lessons. And I tried Zoom and WhatsApp and Skype. I tried a bit of all of it. But during Easter, the school adopted Teams, as George said. So now my children have 2 45-minute lessons a week. But as Esther was saying, I find it only satisfying to a certain amount to have the live lessons. So I have one live lesson, and then they have a homework to do, which is to send me a recording of something that we discussed during the lesson, and then I analyze and give feedback. And I found that it really works, because I have those 2 different ways of analyzing what they're doing. And I have a one-on-one time where we can discuss what they're doing. But then I get that time to really study how they're playing, because I can repeat it and stop it. And I often take down notes and I send them the feedback, and then they can work on that for the next lesson. And I've actually had a few pupils that when we go back to having our normal lesson system, who've said they'd like to carry on doing the recordings, because they've also found them very useful. So that is something that will carry on, definitely, in my teaching. And I'm definitely going to try Esther's idea of turning the sound down. I hadn't thought about that. But it is amazing what you can see from a recording. Even if you're looking at the front of the instrument, you can tell if the hand is pushing, or that there's tensions in the thumb, or whatever. And very often, because they have their cameras too low, you get a fantastic view of the bow hand, which you never get during lessons. Right. So spotted all sorts of things that they were getting away with since they started sending in their recordings to me. So that's how we've been doing it anyway.
Yes, sometimes I make like this. Look to my fingers.
Oh yeah, like this.
Yeah. Oh, look this. You see?
Esther,
Yes. Clarissa.
I think Esther would like to talk.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Oh.
I would like to tell you something about the online lesson via Skype. One student said to me, you told me to do this or this, but now I see myself also in the camera on my laptop. So they have a mirror, you know, you give instruction and they see what they are doing. That's also nice.
It's very interesting. Yeah.
It's
also for ourselves. When
Yeah,
I play, I look to my.
It's what Hazel said. The camera is inderdaad. You can see everything very good.
They're playing and they're playing and they're looking to their phone or their computer, and I'm like this.
Yeah.
And they go, oh yeah, because it's right there.
Great, Philip. Can you can speak a little bit about these weekly meetings of Esther UK? What our participants can find in this online help there?
Sure. Yeah. Well, we started 6 weeks ago. It was just at the start of lockdown in the UK, and I don't know about you, but my inbox was being inundated with sort of corporate style emails from every sort of company under the sun, talking about the virus and all the rest of it. But nobody was actually talking about what we do and how it's going to affect us personally and affect our students. So we thought we needed to start really a support network and just to say, we're here, come and talk to us. And we didn't really know what we were going to say. we just thought, let's get a panel together. Let's just start chatting and let's see what questions come through. And it started to fall into themes. 1 week was all about finances, because people didn't know what the government was going to do in terms of support. Lots of tech questions, because it's quite a learning curve, learning to grapple with Zoom and laptops and smartphones. We've had sessions on resilience, how we're going to emerge from all of this and how things will never quite be the same again. And the good bits from online teaching, which we've heard already this evening, how we're going to keep those going, because it's been quite a discovery, actually. There are lots of positives to this. And also mental health, because people are locked up and it's some people like it, some people are really struggling. So it's very important to be supportive. And then we thought we'd have a few competitions and projects. So we tried to get our teachers to play and send in their recordings. We had people send in the First Movement Divine Kleine Nacht music. And, we put a little presentation together, and that's all up on the Esther UK YouTube channel. So please just join us. It's 7 p.m. UK time every Friday night for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing that online teaching should think is about examination. Is there examination, final exam in the year? Esther, in Holland, are you used to do a final exam every year?
Yes, we have to do
so
that.
What are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I heard from the conservatory that it's a problem to have that final exam. So some schools are doing it with speaking. They have to tell about what they are doing, and the teacher he will have to look all over the year how the student is doing his violin playing. So I think there will not be a final exam this year.
Mm.
Not online.
Yeah. Well, we are thinking in some schools that the students can make a recording and send like an
This
exam.
in the secondary schools until 18. I know university level is different, but all of our exams have been cancelled by the government, so there aren't any practical exams at the end of this year. And I think all of it we're supposed to evaluate by just self-evaluation, you know, like Esther was saying. But I've decided on a system with my students where the recording thing again, their program that had already been predefined before the lockdown, over this month, they have to send me each week a different item of that exam, recorded at home, but exam level. And the accompanists from the school have sent me the accompaniments of their pieces, and they have to play their pieces with accompaniment, and then their studies and their scales, whatever. But they are doing their exam, but one item at a time and only for us. But I feel I have it as a justification for the mark that I give them at the end of the year.
Philip, in UK, you have these exams from the Royal. Oh, it's the name.
Yes. Well, all, like you guys, all the exams have been cancelled.
Okay.
And then we have the Associated Board of the Royal Schools of Music, the ABRSM exam system, and Trinity. They've also been cancelled for the foreseeable future. I think university level and the conservatoires, they're all slightly different, but they are accepting recordings as for final recitals. Some without accompanist because of that problem as well. So. Yeah, they're making do.
Well, we still have a hope here in Portugal. We have a hope that in July we will make some final recitals with the security things, with taking care about the security, this distance between the people. But we'll try to make like 1-2 days of rehearsal with the piano and make a final recital, special for students that are finishing the bachelor. It's important for them to have this.
George,
well,
we
I don't know.
7 minutes, I think.
Okay, I think it's time to open the discussion for all our friends that are here with us. Anyone want to make a question or give us a suggestion? Ask a question to Phil or to Esther. Is there anyone wants to ask something?
Hong?
Yes.
Maybe the microphone.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, Mark.
Yes. I have a question about the sound quality. So actually, I'm also giving a lot of lessons online, but I wonder if someone could help me with the sound quality. Should we use an external microphone or something? Because in general, the cello doesn't sound really like cello.
I can say, Mark. Hi, Mark. I can say that we've had various bits of advice. It depends on the platform you're using, because most of these, like Zoom, are designed just for the voice. Yes. So everything's highly compressed, and the sort of harmonic series and all the higher ranges are taken out. However, if we're talking about Zoom, you can go into the back end of the preferences and change that so it's not as compressed, and that can improve things. There are a number of free beta testing companies out there that are offering higher quality. That's up on the Esther UK website at the moment, but I'll share that with you guys, what the research we found. Another helpful one for upper strings has been sometimes to put a mute on, and that seems to improve the quality as well. As for recording with a very posh microphone, it's still going through the conference software. So I'm not sure it's having that great an effect. If you're recording as Hazel is having her pupils record in advance and send it off, then a good quality microphone is obviously a great choice.
I think Shapiro has some question.
Yes. No, I just would like to share something. I have a private school in Switzerland, and the biggest concern that I have during this time is the motivation of the student. So usually every week they come, and then we also have, it's a school, so they see their friends and they have the peers to compete with, and they are motivated because there's friends, and also because we also have group lessons and they meet, and during this time they are alone with the instrument. So the biggest challenge for me is the motivation. And what I do is I decided to have everybody play together, but in video. So they each send in the video. Actually, we play Vivaldi's Winter in a concert online, and each student would record the part. And of course, they would have the metronome in, and the other part in listening to that while they record their part. And it's a huge success. It's not only motivating, it put the work into, they feel accomplished, and also the video is really beautiful. So for me, that's the best way to motivate students during this time.
And they keep those videos forever as a memory of the lockdown.
Yeah.
Right. And then as soon as we publish this on YouTube, there's millions, the thousands of views.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, for myself, I have to say that sometimes when students don't have a good internet connection, it helps a lot when you turn off your microphone, you turn off your camera. And sometimes if you really want to listen, you can turn off also his camera. And sometimes gets better. Anyway, one thing that helped to me a lot is that to ask a student to record the piece like in the same day and send to me like 5 minutes before. I listen the recording, and when I go to listen him online, you know, our brain make the connection between the good sound and the sound that is there, and we make like a translation, you know, live translation of the sound, and we can understand better. Of course, it's not good, but we can understand what is good, what is not good, because we see with the same movement in the different medium, and we can adapt for that. This is a important thing. Well, if you want to, yeah, Esther?
Yeah, I thought maybe it's the idea for the motivation of the pupils, the students, that they can play for each other online. So like we have the meeting like this,
right,
that we can play them, and then the other students can say something about.
Very good idea. Yes.
Yeah, yes. Well, I'm trying to make a student concert online.
George, our meeting is finished. The time of the Zoom, maybe. If
you want to know how many time, Clarissa?
1 minute.
Okay, if you want to know more about Philip and Esther, you need to come to our conference. If you want to be with us, come next week. We will be there with David, with Heidi, and Emilia. Can you help me?
Yes. We'll have Heidi, Christina, and Mauricio. That is today with us. I think he's there.